Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 227. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Dan, we got an amazing show today for two reasons. One, it is episode 227, one of the best sitcoms in the 80s. All right?
I totally forgot about that. With
Jack A.
They should make a video game out of it.
227 video game. Yeah.
227 video game. You just go in the building and go to every floor, and it's like a beat 'em up.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. Yeah, I think like half our listeners are like, "What? What is this?"
They have no idea. Yeah, we're old.
Yeah,
we're old.
You got to go on YouTube and look up some clips of 227. It's great. Anyway, the real reason it's a special show is we have some guests. We have some guests on at the end of the show. We did a little segment talking to Beau and Kelly from the Precisely podcast. So look forward to that later in the show. Very exciting talk. So.
Well, wait. There's three reasons why this show is going to be awesome.
Oh,
okay.
There was a third. Well, fill me in because I was aware of two.
You fixed your TV.
Oh, I did. We were talking briefly before the show. I told Dan I did it. It was a bit of an adventure. It was a lot of money. I got that bad boy fixed. So I just got to get it back up on the wall, and we're good.
Okay.
I will say I cracked open the back of the TV. Me and Joe examined the parts. Okay, we have this part, this part, this part. Three main boards.
Okay, rewind. For people, if they haven't, been listening to your journey.
Oh yeah. There is a bit of a journey. You got to go back.
You got just a quick recap. You got an open box, which means it's used TV from Best Buy. How big is it?
65 inch.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you didn't get the warranty on it.
Nope.
It worked for a little bit, and then it just couldn't stay powered on.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. That is 100% true. It's also 100% true that I paid some guys that lived around the corner like $500 to come by and fix my TV, and I paid cash. That's on me. And then I realized, I know about electronics. I have friends who can come help me out. So I had a friend come over. We diagnosed it. We basically determined, it's probably the main board. I ordered a new main board, popped a new main board in there, turned the TV on, left it on for a little bit, powered off, powered on, and Bob's your uncle. TV.
Okay.
So there we go.
Well, Jerome's my uncle. I'm just
not
Bob. But I just want to let you know. When
I feel like this is going to be a teaching moment. I'm ready.
It's going to be two things. One, when the courts open up, I hope you wear Rated G for Gamers podcast on Judge Judy.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I don't know if I can sue, Dan. I don't know if I can sue.
Well, you can try.
The thing of it is, I was kind of going over the paperwork, and I don't have the guy's last name. And I tried to fill out the form online, and you need to have like a first and last name if it's not like a proper private entity or something. I don't know, but I was definitely lacking some information. So
okay, well,
yeah.
if you're able to figure all this out,
Uh-huh.
just wear Rated G for Gamers
You kidding
podcast
me?
shirt
You
on
kidding me?
Judge Judy. That's all.
I'm gonna wear that. I'm gonna wear that nice blue blazer. I'm gonna put the Rated G logo on there. It's gonna be done. It's gonna be nice.
Oh man, so it worked out better in the long run. We got free promotion.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? If I end up on Judge Judy, I think it's gonna be a good day.
She may yell at you, but I think you have a good shot to win.
I mean, I get a free day trip to California. I'll take it.
That is true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Take it. I know from experience, because talking about uncles, my uncle Jerome actually sued somebody, and they treated him like a king. Sent him to California. He was in a good hotel. He got food vouchers, and then as soon as Judge Judy was over, they were like, "All right, here's some cab fare back to the airport."
Right. See, there you go. You burn a day. That's all. Take a day off.
Burn a day. Well, since we're talking about Hollywood or California, we got to talk about Hollywood and video games, right? Where they come together. We got the Last of Us TV show coming to HBO.
That's right.
But
I'm excited.
Don't know when that's going to start shooting, but the Uncharted movie finally begun shooting.
Right.
So Spider-Man is young Nathan Drake. I still don't know how I feel about this.
Well, this was in production for a while, because they were like talking about Mark Wahlberg having a hand in the movie. I thought he was playing Nathan Drake. Is that right?
Well, it's not production. It was just that they were in talks to get this off the ground.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to play Nathan Drake, and then he got slated to play Sully.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he is a little up there in age at this point, right?
Yeah. He's that. Not that he's like past his prime in his physical form, but just kind of the looks. He's a little too old. Yeah.
And he would have to slim down too. Sully ain't Diesel.
That's true. Sully's fit, but he's not brolic. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a smart ass. So I think that's where the sort of connection came with Mark Wahlberg, because he's a smart ass. Like Sully's a smart ass. So I would love to know. I guess Hollywood has their rules, regulations as far as like social distancing, limited amount of people on set, and I guess maybe the actors get tested because they're the ones that have to be, interact with each other.
Right.
Obviously they can't wear a mask, and other people around are wearing a mask. So hopefully they're doing that. But it's finally in production. So hopefully, I want to say by things are starting to go back into production. So I think we're going to see a shortage in new material, new TV shows and movies in the fall, and we should see an influx of stuff probably starting like in the spring of next year, if everything goes well, right? If everything goes well, and there's no we're not shut down for a second time, or California is not shut down for a second.
Yeah, it's just weird to think like
or like even Canada, because a lot of stuff is shot in Canada.
Like the movie like production squad, the amount of people, like there's at least 10 people that work craft services alone, right?
Well, look, we work in Manhattan, right? Well, at least I know for me, I work in Midtown Manhattan, when I used to go to actually go to the office. Right. And just to see the production for Law and Order is like 1 million people outside. They're not even on set.
Yeah. So it's like how do you like pare that down? It's like, you know what? They're doing it. So maybe you don't need that many people on set. Maybe you don't need 10 guys working the donut station.
Listen, the donut station is important, man.
It is very important. Trust me. I love my donuts.
I'm not gonna lie. You need somebody to watch. You need somebody to sit there and watch the food, because you don't want random strangers just come up to the buffet talking about, you know what, I want a muffin.
Oh my God, Dan.
I've seen that. I've seen when someone just randomly walked into the buffet.
Oh, sure.
Because it's just like a tent outside in a street corner.
Right.
And somebody just randomly walked there, and then someone was like, "Excuse me, sir. Can I see your ID?"
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
Well, who are you?
Dan, you don't understand how many times when I used to live in the Lower East Side, I mean, they filmed everything down there. I bumped into so many celebrities and people. My roommate bumped into Mark Ruffalo.
Oh wow!
Funny enough, yeah. He wasn't doing a Marvel movie, obviously, but there was some like romance movie with like Keira Knightley, and he ended up like between the two of them on stage. Wow. And they had like a big craft table, and really it's just like it's so easy to like dip in, grab an apple, and then like hop out because everyone's like doing everything. It's just it's so tempting.
Hey, listen, if you have a walkie-talkie, just put it on your belt.
Yeah,
and just walk in and grab a muffin.
Right?
Nobody will notice.
Call for one, go, and then just grab an apple and then go.
You know who I would love to see? You know who I would love to see and just hang out with because he seems like the coolest dude. That is Superman.
Oh my God.
Henry Cavill.
Oh well, this dude specifically is super Henry Cavill. Yeah.
This dude is super cool. Well, you know what? Other than Dean Cain, all the other Supermen seem cool too.
What, you don't like we don't need to get into that.
We shall not talk about that. Even though I did bump in. You want to talk about bumping into people? I bumped into Dean Cain.
Oh shit! What was that the bad experience, or was it the other thing that I'm thinking of?
It's the other thing, but we shall not talk about that.
All right, fair enough.
He actually, look, Henry Cavill, built a PC recently, right?
Yeah,
it was like crazy.
He's been a gamer. Like when he got cast to play Geralt in The Witcher, he was a fan of the series. So I was like, this is gonna be
he campaigned to play Geralt in the Witcher series.
Yeah.
And when he got the call to be Superman, he was playing World of Warcraft.
Nice.
So he's a big gamer, and apparently he's a tech dude because he built his own custom PC. So this dude seems cool. He can help me put my PC together.
Right. I was looking at the clip, the little time lapse thing on like Twitter. It's a nice setup. It's all water cooled, and it's got a temperature sensor, a little LED temperature sensor on the CPU. Cable management was nice. Like he really did it up like 100. Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about you want to talk about doing it up to 100. Lego is going all out with Nintendo, right? Did you see this new Lego original NES set? Right, this is NES set with TV built from Legos. This looks awesome. I don't know if I would buy it.
It was very.
I don't know if I would buy it, but this looks awesome.
It was very cute.
Imagine if it was real. Like if you can get little Samson, the board in a Lego cartridge and it actually worked.
All right.
Then you wouldn't have to spend $1,000 for it.
I know. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Pricey. It's $230. So
it is $230.
It's not like you can get little Samson if they even made one for like $20. It's yeah.
If this comes down in price, I would buy it. I'm not gonna put it together, but I would buy it. And just keep it because I think it's cool. I think it's super cool.
But it is interactive though. We have to say, right? It is kind of like usable in a way, right? Because it's got a little hand crank on there, and then it like kind of moves around. Like it's substantial.
But speaking of things we would buy, Dave, you get any good pickups this week?
Yes, I did. Not anything like super crazy, but and I know you have a story about going back into GameStop, so I'm very very kind of curious to hear about that. But I went in there because my local GameStop is open and they have stuff, and they are fire.
Gotta wear a mask. Mask.
Always do. They have those. They have those Tataku figurines, right? The ones that are normally $10. They're fire selling them. They're down to like $5. So I picked up Artorias from Dark Souls and Ryu, however you want to say it. I think it's pronounced Ryu from Street Fighter. So I was happy to get those for $5 a pop. So nothing else really. That was
I'm missing 3. Right, Bloodborne is like the biggest one I'm missing.
Bloodborne is tough. Yeah, that's sold out.
You can still get it. You get it for like $40.
Well, right? Yeah, that's like $400 percentage over, 400% over regular price.
I'm missing like the Yu-Gi-Oh one and something else. They
had like a ton of the Yu-Gi-Oh ones. If you want me to grab one.
Yeah, maybe grab one for me. And if you see the Battlefield one.
Oh, the Solveig or whatever, the guy in the skis. Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that around a lot.
Those are
all right.
Those are the 3 I'm missing because I have everyone else, which is I have a million of them.
All right.
Those, since they aren't really amiibo, they don't really do anything. I just keep them in the box, so I don't really do anything.
Right.
So I actually went to GameStop for the first time I went to GameStop to fix my Pro membership, it was still like curbside pickup, right? It was like somebody in the store, but I think they were waiting for something, and I guess she just let them come in the store because it was like super hot outside. But she did come to the door, and I was just like, "Hey, I got to issue with my Pro membership," so that's why she let me in. But this was the first time I actually got to go and browse and just walk around. Obviously, you got to wear masks; it's mandatory in all GameStops, no matter where you are, right? So it was cool, pretty cool. I did get buy two get two free used, right? If it's under $10, that was good to do that. And I'll talk about those pickups, at a later date in one of our Saturday morning retro episodes, right? When we really talk about our retro pickups, because they were from the 360 PS3 era. And
there you go. That counts as retro now. That counts as retro.
And Wii.
The Wii is definitely retro.
But I did pick up Black Future 88 on the Switch. A game that we played 2 years ago.
We played it at PAX, very retro futuristic shooter. So I really liked it at the time. I think we were pretty hype on it. I thought it was okay. It didn't really sell me that much. I thought it was okay. I just liked the art style. I didn't know if I liked the gameplay. I mean, it was sort of everybody's going for this cyberpunk world type feel, right? So, but I will say, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting. Amazon. I'm waiting. I'm supposed to have Ghost of Tsushima for the PS4 and Paper Mario Origami King for the Switch right now, and they keep switching. No pun intended. They keep switching the delivery date. It was it came out Friday, and it tells me it's gonna come. I'm gonna get it on Wednesday, and it told me I was gonna get it on Tuesday, and now it tells me it's coming today. Well, all right.
So regardless, next episode I'll tell you. I'll give you my thoughts at least on Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you gonna play it in old school samurai black and white mode?
Maybe for like a minute.
I think that's like really cool that they like put that in there, right? To give you like the authentic samurai movie feel, right? It's like you want to be in a Kurosawa flick, like here it is.
Well, the sort of the motion of the lips and the Japanese speaking doesn't really match up. People say so. You can wear a mask. People wear masks, right? Traditional Japanese masks. So that's how they get around that, right? Because it's like the it's made for the English speaking, right? The lip syncing. So, so we'll see. I'm waiting. That's what I'm waiting for. Amazon. I would love to have it the day it's supposed to come out, but that's in the story for another day.
All right.
Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
Well, we're doing a lot better than previous weeks, Dan. I'm looking at the time codes right now. We made it under 20 minutes, so I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I'm still playing. I think I talked about it last week. I got The Last of Us Remastered. I'm getting in on that conversation. I'm very close to the end. I think I'm 2 chapters away. I am in the snow right now.
Oh yeah, you're almost done.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You're close.
Okay. I peeped online to see like how many more chapters. There's like 2 more chapters. F that deer. Right. Kept running around trying to find the damn deer. Too much. Okay. And then after a while, I was like, oh, follow the tracks, because it makes significant snow patterns, because it's a deer and it has hooves and there's snow on the ground. So every time you hit it, it drips a little bit of blood, and then you follow the tracks, and I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I'm like there has to be some sort of clue to tell me which direction to go in, and that was it. So yeah, so I'm with what's his name? Well, I just left what's his name.
No spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, it is a 7-year-old game, but we'll leave it at that. I left the dude I was with at the time, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think there's like another chapter or 2, so I'm gonna get it done today.
Okay. I'm not trying to get into anything serious long term, because I really want to jump into
Dan doesn't want a game relationship.
I don't want I don't want a long term.
Dan doesn't want to date Red Dead right now.
No. I want to get into Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, so yeah.
I'm just waiting for that. Hopefully it comes in today, right? And then I can pop that bad boy in. So I've just been playing Splatoon 2 on the Switch.
So
I can get in quick.
So you could kind of consider Splatoon 2 your side piece until your main bay comes in.
My that's my side piece until I get my main squeeze.
There you go. Okay,
So,
I get it. I get it.
Oh, wait, you know what? Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
give you sort of my GameStop issue update, right?
Oh yeah.
Before with GameStop, I renewed my pro membership back in May, but the online it still said it expired in June, which is crazy, right? And I went into GameStop the first time and she fixed it, but I wasn't getting the physical magazines for Game Informer.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to call GameStop and choose the Game Informer option because it's a separate hotline.
Yep.
And the guy was super cool about it. He was just like, yeah, our system changed and people have been complaining, so I could just fix it for you. Right. Mm-hmm. So he fixed it. I'll believe it when I see it because I'm supposed to get the July issue and the August issue starting in August. So I believe it when I see it, but by all intents and purposes, my GameStop issue has been fixed. And the lesson I've learned from this was next time my pro membership expiring, even if it's a zombie apocalypse, just go down to the store or call. Don't do it yourself online because they don't have a really good infrastructure.
No. Well, you know what? Just we have no less than 2 stories that have happy endings, Dan. So
there you go.
I feel like it's a win in our court. So
this is lesson learned for you. Just buy the TV brand new.
Yeah, or get the protection plan with the
protection plan
because you never know. Yeah.
All right, Dave. We take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the top gaming news of last week.
This is Justin from the Lit Gaming Arena podcast, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers.
And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Let's start with Nintendo. All right, so there were a bunch of leaks, a lot of rumors that we're going to get a Nintendo Direct this same week that we're going to get to see the first party games from Xbox.
Sure.
Right? So it's going to be a big week.
All right. If it's true, it makes sense because they're trying to take some shine away from the other companies, right? And they're like, hey, you got some new systems, we got some new games.
Well, Microsoft doesn't look at Nintendo as competition, remember? So,
but I mean, Nintendo does in the game space, right? They want people that are interested in looking to buy a game system to say, come into our platform. We have all the good stuff.
Well, I did say I wanted a Nintendo, like a big Nintendo Direct in August, right? Sony had sort of, their shine in June. Microsoft is going to have their shine in July.
Right.
I said, we should have a big Switch, Nintendo Direct.
You want everybody to be nice, happy, copacetic, and play nice, but Nintendo's not doing that, apparently.
Since we don't have the ESRB and the E3 to sort of like, manage everyone. Mm-hmm. But I will say, in defense, we may still get that because it looks like all the rumors said it was this could just be a Super Mario Direct. So it's everything themed around that rumored, old Mario game sort of remasters that they said that we may get. And one of the things that just threw a log on the fire to this rumor was somebody found a Twitter account that was that's still private, has nothing on it, that was Mario 35th anniversary. Right. And then you do sort of like a recover the email, and the email that they blocked it out, but you could tell the characters. They have a little bit of the email, like the first 2 letters and like the last 2 characters. And that email, if you match it up, does match up to an actual Japanese Nintendo account.
I mean, sure, it's at nintendo.co.jp, sure, but it's not hard to get a co.jp address, but it is hard to get a nintendo.co.jp address, right? So it lends a little bit of credence, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. The question is, if all of this is true, then what is going to be in the Direct?
Well, I would love for it to be a big Nintendo Direct. If that's the case, if we're gonna have a Direct, I want a big Nintendo Direct. I want to hear about Metroid Prime 4. I want to hear about Breath of the Wild 2. I want to hear about the whatever quirky Joy-Con colors or anything like that they have.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna get some Mandarin orange and some plum. Yep.
However, I don't put it past Nintendo that this would be just a small Direct Mini that's themed around the Super Mario remaster games, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about it, I guess, earlier this year or last year.
No, we talked about it. I want to say like 3 months ago. Like,
well, there you go. So we talked about it this year. There was some rumors that they were going to remaster the 3D Mario games, put them together, maybe in like a deluxe package set. And I think we kind of speculated on what those would be, which was kind of interesting. And now it's maybe going to happen. So
I still would love, just leave the 3D world, leave it on the Wii U at least for now. Just give me Mario 64, Sunshine, and one of the Galaxy games.
Everyone loves 64. Controversial opinion. I don't have a huge amount of love for 64. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm with you. I don't have any nostalgia for Mario 64.
Right.
Because I didn't have it. I had the two games I had when I first got my N64. I didn't get it like directly on launch. I got it later on. I got Mario Kart 64, which I think is still the best Mario Kart game ever made. And Duke Nukem.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Talk about the two ends of the spectrum.
Those were the two games I had for the N64.
Right. Oh.
And I have fond memories of, because I put like 1 million hours in both.
Yeah, like not to like throw any shade on Super Mario 64, because it is monumental. It's monumental in a way that the original Super Mario Brothers was for 2D platformers. This really was, here is a solid, good 3D platformer with tight controls, with a at the time good camera, I guess, or decent camera, right? That was always a problem. And, Nintendo really kind of like paved the way for everybody else for a good couple of years. This is kind of the template. Here's how you make a good 3D game. So I get that. It doesn't necessarily hold up that well. And they did iterate over the way the gameplay goes. Like, if you look at like the way the stars are, right? If you look in Mario Odyssey, right, you get a star and you just keep it moving, or like a moon in this case, and you just keep it moving. In 64, when you get a star, or their equivalent of a moon, takes you out of the level. You have to go back, you have to go in, play it again. So you have to play each level like 8 different times from the beginning with a different objective in hand, and then you get the stars up to 120. So it's they've definitely made it better over time. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, if it's true, we're gonna have a big show next show.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a direct, and next show we definitely got to go all over. We're gonna be all over that Microsoft event.
Oh my God, it's gonna be Halo crazy, Dan.
Oh yeah, but talking about sort of E3 events or directs or state of plays, we had a Stadia Connect that just came out, and didn't even know about it.
It's a stealth Stadia Connect. Yeah.
It was a stealth drop, and from the announcements, it wasn't that bad. It was one of the better Stadia Directs in recent months, right? Because I think we had 3 of them this year, if not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And they definitely got some Stadia exclusives, which is what everyone's been saying. Stadia needs exclusives to make it worthwhile to jump in. Just to name a couple, timed exclusives. You got One Hand Clapping. That's a timed exclusive in early access. Orcs Must Die 3. That's a Stadia exclusive. Outcasters is a Stadia exclusive. And Super Bomberman R Online is coming in the fall. That's a timed Stadia exclusive.
Okay. I mean, Super Bomberman R is an okay Bomberman game. I don't think that's going to make a lot of fanfare. But Orcs Must Die, I remember the original being very good. That's kind of pretty solid, so that's cool. Outcasters looks like a top-down MOBA game, which could be kind of cool. The graphics look kind of neat. So, they're trying. They're trying. They're trying to bring games there. They're still like it's over a year after it launched, right? I guess if you want to include beta and all that. They're still putting new games in the system. They're kind of building up the platform.
Well, you got the Hitman trilogy coming, right? Hitman 1 and 2 coming September 1st. Hitman 3 coming January 2021. We're getting NBA 2K21. Good or bad, as far as the lag goes for sort of like a sports game or a fighting game, right? That's coming, right? So they got some games coming. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice coming in the fall. That's a big game. What caught my eye was they're getting Serious Sam 4, which was if you watched the Devolver Digital event, that was sort of like their last big game that they showed on that event, and it was only PC. So this is sort of, it's still not coming to console, but if you really want to play it and you don't have a PC and it's not in console, you could play it on Stadia. That's sort of like I gotta say, that's kind of like an exclusive right there, an exclusive get for them. Right. So I think that's a nice game to have in the Stadia collection. And WWE 2K Battlegrounds is coming out on Stadia as well. So that's a good look.
Right. Yeah, Battlegrounds is exactly what we thought it was going to be, a more arcadey version of the WWE wrestling simulator, I guess, like the
since they delayed the actual realistic more wrestling simulator, if you need your WWE kick, this will be the way you get it brand new this year.
It's nice, crazy, over-the-top action. I am 100% going to be getting this game. I'm going to be flying off the top rope. It's going to be a good time.
Well, Ubisoft is big with Stadia, right? Like we know they're gonna get a lot of Ubisoft games coming in because they were in from day one. You can, when you demoed Stadia on the browser, right? You demoed it with Assassin's Creed.
Well, yeah, so, that was like their first test run because they had it in, you could just play Assassin's Creed, I think Odyssey, in Chrome, right? As like an extension or whatever it is, as like their test. So yeah.
Well, listen, Ubisoft jumps in. They always want to be the first. They jumped in with the Wii U.
They jumped in with the Wii. I mean, they
jumped in with the Wii. Yeah, they're jumping in with everybody because they don't know what's going to take off. So they want to be there from the ground up, saying we were there, we supported you. Ubisoft had their sort of connected. We talked about it last week. Fast Forward. I know it's called Forward, but I wanted to fast forward because I didn't think it was anything great other than the last fast forward straight to Far Cry 6. That's
we know you were not that happy with it. I think you're a little salty over it. I thought it was a fine. That was a fine.
And then they announced another Fast Forward event later in the year.
So to expand upon all the stuff they talked about in the first one.
But they had some games missing. That disappeared, right? Like Skull and Bones, right? That was sort of like their big open world boat game. That was like they used sort of the same art style and mechanics from Black Flag. When you had those sort of you had those ship missions with the ship,
Which I thought they were I thought they were kind of cool. They did get a little bit tedious after a while, for sure. But
apparently. We haven't heard about it. It was announced in E3 2017, right? So that's about 3-4 years ago. It's been rebooted from the ground up with brand new ideas. They have big plans for Skull and Bones. They have a TV show that they want to do with a female protagonist as the lead. I'm sure they have merchandise they want to sell, and they want to redo it from the ground up to make it a big open world multiplayer game for next gen. So I personally think they should have just released it because if they showed it first 2017, that means it had to be in development, and it looked pretty polished. So it had to be in development for 3-4 years maybe prior to that. So
sure.
It could have been ready 2 years, like 2018. I say just release it, see what fans like and don't like about it, and then just fix it for next gen, for Skull and Bones 2. With your big plan to make a TV show and do things around it. That's
you're missing the most important part about a product or a service or a thing is first impressions mean the world. I thought you were going to say, hey, let's go ahead and take the game and let's just keep updating and kind of iterating the product like
you
they
mean
were doing with
Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves style, right? Because they've like, it certainly hurt them in the beginning. I think it turned off a lot of people because there was nothing to do, but they're committed to it, and they keep putting out more content. So I hear it's a decent game now. Like, it's still not for me because I feel like it still is lacking, even though it may not be anymore. But I thought you were going to say that with it, because you put it out and nobody like plays it, then you have like a Ghost Recon's Wildlands or like a Division 2, right? There's a problem with the first Division. Like, not a lot of people played it. The Division 2 came out, much better game. It did decently, and now, like, even though they keep putting like stuff out for it, people aren't like crazy for it. So I don't know. Like, I hear what you're saying. You put a lot of R&D into it, right? You put 3 years or whatever it is of work into it, and it did look very polished. I was all about it too. I thought, wow, this looks really good, but I feel like that was a glossy representation.
Well, listen, like Wildlands, right? Didn't do so well at first. They updated it, and now Wildlands is like a big thing. Like, people really like that game.
Sure.
Right? If they could put out a game, see what people like, see what people don't like, iterate on it, fix it, come up with an interesting story or interesting bits, and then people will flock to it if it's a good game, right? It's the first in the franchise. I could see if it was like the 7th iteration or 6th Resident Evil, a la Resident Evil, right? Then look, if it's first, people can excuse. Oh, I mean, what was the mech game that came out? I can't have it right at the top of my tongue, where it was just a multiplayer game at first, and then the second game came out, but it came
Titanfall.
Titanfall. There you go. Look, Titanfall. What's the main thing people said about Titanfall? The original Titanfall didn't have a story, right?
Like a single player, yeah.
Didn't have a story, and some of the mechanics for the sort of a shooting mechanics could have been better. Could have been more defined.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2, you fix all of those issues, right?
You're right. Just want to throw a little bit of a wrinkle in there. It did not sell that well.
That's okay. Well,
I'm just saying.
It didn't sell well.
Fantastic game.
It didn't sell well, not because the game was bad, but sort of they put it out to die because they put it in between Battlefield 1.
Well,
and Call of Duty.
We brought that up many a times. Like, you don't go up against the Saving Private Ryan of first-person shooters.
If they would have held it and put it out Christmas 2.
Right. Yeah, put it out like March. Yeah, you'd probably have some more eyeballs on it for sure.
It would have sold way better because it was critically acclaimed. We loved it.
It was good. It was very good. Better than the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think put it out, especially if it was ready. Put it out. See what people like. See what people don't like. And when Skull and Bones 2 comes, you come with gangbusters. You come with everything you got and make it a big thing. So. Right. So now, if you're going to come out, make it a big thing, and people don't like a lot of things about it that you could have fixed if you'd just put it out, there you go. There's your first impression. People are going to be kind of, they're going to be bitching about it. But that's just my opinion. Well, speaking about people complaining about things, a lot of people complaining that they can't renew their Xbox Live Gold subscription, 1 year subscription to be exact, because Microsoft has removed that option.
Yeah,
Why?
in the most head scratching of things for a company to do, why would you take away a 12-month discount option that everyone is using right now for their Xbox Live? Because why would you not? Right.
Well,
$60 for a year.
Unless this is a glitch. This could be that they're gearing up to sort of blend a lot of their services together. So they could say, if you want Games Pass, here's a monthly subscription. If you want a Xbox Live Gold, here's a monthly subscription, right? But if you want a yearly subscription, it comes all together bundled up because we want to charge you a little bit more and get you in, right? Because look, I don't have Games Pass. I have nothing against Games Pass. I think Games Pass is a great sort of option, great deal.
Oh, yeah.
But they probably are thinking, you know what, if Dan Robinson had Games Pass, he would be all in. How do we make him get Games Pass? Well, we'll take away the 12-month subscription for Gold and we'll mix it in a little bit more money. he'll pay, instead of paying what $60-$70 for a yearly subscription, would he pay $100 for Xbox Gold and Games Pass? You damn right I would. You damn right I would. I would do it, and that's how they would get me. And I think that's what they want to do.
Wow, that is a very interesting theory. I wasn't thinking about it like that, but they did say at the last E3 that they want to become like a games as a service type platform, right? They want to use the Xbox platform to kind of stream games and get games in and have you be online and all that, as opposed to like a physical box with the drive and all that. So like
they shut down a lot of their stores too.
Yeah. Which is weird because like they also had services there, which are physical items, but
it just means on the PlayStation 6 and the Super Switch U, we're gonna be able to get Games Pass on it.
Yeah. Oh my God. There you go. Microsoft's already taken the first steps.
So I think this is
the future.
I think this is their way of trying to get people like me who are like, oh, that's good for those guys, but I'm not going to spend an extra $10 a month. So you know what, Dan? $120 a year every January, because you know I line up all my yearly subscriptions to January.
Yep.
Every January,
pro tip.
$120. Dan I would do that.
He would
do that. I would. $120, and I'd be able to get Games Pass and Xbox Live Gold. 100%, I would. You know why? Because that would be the only way you get me into Games Pass. I'm not going to sign up for Games Pass any other way, unless unless it's an automatic bundle. I have no choice to buy.
See, you got to put the pill in the applesauce to get people into it, right? This is the way. This is the way.
Well, you can't buy right now. You can't buy Xbox Live Gold, 12-month subscription, and soon after, you're probably not going to be able to buy an Xbox One X or Xbox One S all digital edition because Microsoft has now halted production. They've canceled manufacturing of those, and they're putting all their efforts into making Xbox Series Xboxes.
So they didn't specifically say Xbox One X, or is that also true? Oh, no.
No, it's Xbox One X.
There is an update to this. Yeah, they're also canceling the One X. Interesting. So a couple things about this, because you kind of brought this up, and we were talking about it before we got on the mics, that, you know, like if you look at a company like Sony, right? Sony's like, we're in it for 10 years, right? PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, kind of the PS3, like, you know, they support their consoles for like 10 years, right? They're like, look, we're still going to manufacture them. We're still going to fix them. We're still going to support games on the system. You know, we're going to make sure that like third-party companies like EA are still making the Madden so you can buy them, right? They go a long way, and I got to give them credit, right? Microsoft, on the other hand, is like very...
Even Nintendo, right? Even Nintendo.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
They still support the Wii.
I know the 3DS and the Wii. You know, 3DS is coming up in its 10-year anniversary next year, so it's very true. You know, Microsoft, on the other hand, is I know the original Xbox didn't sell great, so they wanted to rush out with the 360, but that was really like a 5-6 year life cycle, and then they're like, all right, we're done. Nobody wants this. Here's the 360. Here's like a better console, right? But you know, the Xbox One and S and all the different models, they're doing well, right? You know, they may not be like number one top dog, but they're selling and they're doing a lot of good moves, I think, right now. So why would you not want to have these consoles still available on kind of the lower end? And you brought up a good point, is that like, how do you price point, you know, the now 4 different flavors, possibly 5 if there's a digital version of the Series X, right? If there's a Series S. So now you have the original one, the 1S, the 1S digital, if those are 2 separate ones, the 1X, the Series X, and maybe if there's a Series S, like, how do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, remember, there's rumors out there, and I mean, these rumors are heating up that the Series S is going to be super cheap, right? Like, to undercut the PlayStation 5. They're doing everything they can to undercut the PlayStation 5. So there are rumors that there are a lot of rumors that the Series S could be $200, $250. So if you have the next gen console that's all digital, that low, how do you have last gen being more expensive, right? And then you don't. Does it make sense to have last gen, which is current gen, be cheaper than that? Right? Like, you buy an Xbox One X for $150, $100, right?
Oh
it probably doesn't make that much sense.
That would be a steal.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing about it too is because they're saying all the games are cross compatible, right? You know, any game you buy as of now, any game you buy for Xbox One will work on the Series X and possibly Series S if that's a thing, probably. So you don't have to buy the game twice, right? Which is like great, but in terms of like hardware support, you know, the beta machine, as like you like to call it, is very low powered now. If you line up all of the systems, so now you have to like find a way to get your next gen game to work on a system that's like 8 years old or 7 years old. That's kind of tough. And this is the way to do that, right? You phase it out by saying, well, there's not going to be any more consoles. So from here on out, you have to buy the next iteration of the Xbox, right? Which, if you price it correctly, may not be a bad move.
Well, they're just forcing people to go to next gen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's like you say one thing, but then your actions show another. You're like, no. There's no exclusive Series X games for the first 2 years.
Right.
You could be able to play them on last gen on the Series X.
Right.
But don't worry, you won't be able to buy a Series X because we're not making any more.
So what if it came out at like $300, right? I think that's a reasonable price. What if there was a digital edition that came out at $300, or maybe even like if you want to go like extreme, maybe like $250, right? So anyone that has an Xbox already is not locked out, but anybody who wants a new console, I don't think $250 is that bad. Considering at this day and age. I don't even think 300's that bad. You know, 300 was the price of the PlayStation 2 back in 2001. So if you adjust that for inflation, you're up to like what, $500 maybe?
So I definitely think it'll be 6 and 300. To be honest,
3. Yeah,
6 and 300. Because they did say the rumors are that the Series X would be substantial. It would be more powerful than Xbox One X, but a little bit less powerful than a Series X, and obviously not have an optical drive. And they want to have the most powerful console out, and they want to have sort of the lowest price point out.
The most affordable one, right?
So they can get in all homes. They can get into hardcore gamers' homes. They can get into the casual gamers' homes. So, and I think that would undercut Sony, because I don't think Sony's going to $300 mark. I'm thinking it's 5 and 4. So,
right.
Personally, that's what I think it's going to be. But speaking of PlayStation, or Xbox is stopping production on current gen right now. Sony is amping up production on next gen. They want to have 10 million PS5 units at launch.
Wow,
so that's a lot.
10 million. I've never seen 10 million of anything, Dad. Let alone a console, which is very hard to meet demands on launch day. There's always a shortage. PS3, there was a shortage. PS2, there was a shortage. They can never keep demand up. Well, do you think they're going to be able to do it?
I think they will be able to do it. I think my biggest question is, will it be 5 million all digital editions and 5 million disc unit editions? Or
I mean, yeah, it's fair to say they do half and half. I honestly may think it may be a 60-40 or 70-30 split favoring digital, because that's what they ultimately want. Well, that's what they want at the end of the day, right? Well, that's definitely what Microsoft wants. And I'm assuming Sony wants the same end goal. They want to move people away from physical discs because there's just a lot more roadblocks to getting you to play the game.
think if it wasn't for Sony, I think if it wasn't for Xbox and all their rumors, one, they did put out the all digital edition Xbox.
Yeah.
And there's rumors of Project Lockhart, which, we coin as Series S, right? I think if it wasn't for that, I don't think Sony would have had an all digital edition. Personally, that's what I think. I think they did it in response to Xbox.
Really? So but that's where everything is moving, right?
I think it would have been later on in the PS5 life cycle that we're putting out a digital edition, but I don't think they would have did it the date of launch. You can get either one, and I think personally it'd be a 60-40 disc drive.
Really?
I think they're gonna have.
Maybe.
I think they're gonna have more disc drives. Again, for the PS6, it may go the other way, but right now, I think they're going to put out more games with disc drive.
The PS6 may not even have a model with a hard drive with like a disc drive in it. Serious.
I think the next gen models will be all digital with a peripheral of a disc drive.
Right. That's probably what's going to happen in that case.
I think it'd be 60-40 right now. Now, 60-40.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say is I don't want to be down on Sony and whatnot, because we're getting this console day one. Sure, we're gonna go ahead and spend the $1,000+ on everything, all the games, the peripherals, extra controllers, the high end version of the system, and all that. I wonder how many Americans, at least, because we're kind of getting hit by the pandemic, and unemployment is still fairly high, no matter what people say about it. Are people going to really jump in and say yeah, I'm gonna spend $600-$500 on a brand new system right now when I don't have a job?
I say yes.
Really? Okay.
I say people are going to save. That's why everyone's clamoring for a price, because they want to know how much to budget for it.
Well, sure.
And I think they're gonna sell like gangbusters.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to socially distance online outside, because online is gonna be, like Amazon, all that is gonna be sold out. Look, when I went to GameStop, I was in GameStop browsing. Three separate people came in asking to pre-order the PS5.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because there were rumors that the PS5. The rumors the PS5 pre-orders are going to go live any minute now, right? And Sony said they had no idea what the hell that was. Yeah, it wasn't them.
Yeah. No. They debunked that real quick. So
people are clamoring to pre-order the PS5. Mm-hmm. So yes, I think they're ramping up. I think they're ramping up production because they know the demand will be there no matter what.
We'll see. Because 10 million systems that's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, you know what? When the PS4 launched, you were lucky to get one, right? You were lucky to get one.
Well, sure, they had it in short supply, but they didn't have 10 million that sold.
I know. Well, you know what? It won't be in short supply. It won't be in short supply.
Right.
That was my biggest fear, because I knew the demand was there. My biggest fear is when everyone can go outside and there was no issues. The PS4 was hard to get, and I said it back in the early days when we first started the show. I got the PS4 by luck. I got the email from Best Buy that they're back in stock. I was on the train about to hit the tunnel, and just like a 30-second difference of me hitting buy and hitting the tunnel and not having any service. And then I got out of the tunnel. It says my transaction went through, and they're gonna ship it to me. I almost jumped up and hit my head on the ceiling of the train. It was crazy.
One of the best stories. Yeah. What are the best stories?
Right. So now we're in a pandemic where it's like, hey, guess what? A lot of stores aren't open, or they're limiting how many people can come in the store. So I can imagine a line being around the corner, because not only, is it a line for something that's brand new that everybody wants, but not a lot of people can go in the store. Mm-hmm. All right. So I was worried about, will I be able to get one, around the launch time, right? Maybe not the same day, but maybe that weekend or a week after. So this makes me feel good that they're ramping up production, that I'll be able to pick up a PS5 around, and be a part of the conversation, around launch.
Right.
And speaking of the PS5, lastly, Jeff Keighley got his hands on a DualSense controller, and woo boy, this is a hefty boy. Well, it's not that hefty. It's a little bit bigger. He compared it to the DualShock 4. It's a little bit bigger, not that much, but it put on some muscle, right? It put on a little muscle, and he said it was just a slight bit heavier, right? Which makes sense if it's a little bit bigger and it has all these senses in it. It'll be somewhat heavier than the DualShock 4. But he says it feels good in the hand. It looks good. They did say he had an interview with someone from Sony where they said they will talk later on about different colors, so that if you're someone who likes to have different color controllers like me, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited, and they did say they want to ramp up production on controllers that have at least 2 million controllers that you can buy at launch.
Well, you gotta meet the demand, right? If they're gonna put out 10 million units and you're gonna have multiplayer games, right? You're gonna have couch co-op games. You gotta have a second controller ready to go. That's the attach rate is very important, right? It's what you sell with the system, not the sale of the system itself, that really where they make their money. Right.
Listen, everybody would love to have a Breath of the Wild attach rate, right? It was like 130% attach rate.
Right. People were buying it before they even
got a system. I got a Switch.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. So I mean, I thought it was kind of cool, because we got to see Astro World, I think, right, which is the Astrobot extension.
Well, it's a packing game, right? 2020, We're gonna have a packing game with the system.
Yeah, it's really here's what the system's about. Here's what the controller can do.
Well, the Astro demo in PS4 again was just demo. It was just like the ice cubes where you could fill them in the controller and you could throw them at the screen.
Yeah. It's a glorified tech demo. It's it's fun. Yeah. You get a little something to play. I mean, it looked cool.
Well, Jeff Keighley said this is more of a full-on game for you to play with, right? And again, it is a demo for the DualSense controller, but it's actual game that you could play.
Right, right. And he was kind of going through some of the things that, some of the feedback options and whatnot. So it seems kind of cool. I'm kind of curious to see how everything all shakes out. If they're still going to support it a year out, and they're we have this thing the little microphone on the PS4. I've seen some games that are interesting with it.
Speaker. The PS4 has a speaker, and their DualSense, I almost called it the DualSense 5. The DualSense has a better speaker on it, right? And Jeff Keighley said, you can definitely hear it a little bit, definitely more clear than you can hear on the speaker on the DualShock 4. Right. And it has a mic, which is the biggest difference. So you don't need to have a headset if you're playing multiplayer. So
you can just talk into it.
Yeah. So if we're playing a Division 3, I don't have to sit here and set up the camera and all that stuff.
Well, that's definitely going to get usage, because that's like straight up utility right there, right? But I'm talking about integration in the games, like you take something like Death Stranding, right? When we were playing the game, and you had the baby, and the baby would cry, it would by default cry out of the controller, and it was a trip. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because you have it down near your stomach or whatever, right? Where the baby is strapped to Norman Reedus, right? It's right there, and it's oh, that's a clever use of that, but that's few and far between. There's a handful of games that I'm oh, they used it. And then there's an even fewer amount that used it, and I'm oh, that's cool, because it adds to the game. So,
well, my difference, I would say the difference with this is, and from what I can tell, when we had that HD rumble with the Joy-Cons, right, with the little ice cubes and all that stuff, the only people I heard talking about or raving about the HD rumble was Nintendo. I didn't hear anybody else rave about HD rumble. With the dual, I keep almost calling it the DualShock 5.
I know.
The DualSense, and then I almost called it the DualSense 5. Yeah. So the DualSense, I hear other developers, first party and third party developers, raving about it and talking about how the difference between the gamepad in this is they had to change the way the game was played for the gamepad, and it just wasn't worth it because there was no install base compared to this, where it's easier to implement. Because it's not something that's going to change the gameplay or dramatically, right? Because they don't. If you're shooting a gun or pulling a ball and arrow, all you have to do is put in the extra tension in the grip, right? So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything crazily different. And the accessibility community is probably going to love this, because there's so many different things you could do with sort of the dual sense, especially the blind gamer, right? You can help them play the game better with, sort of motion and the different senses in the controller. So I honestly think this is be the norm going forward. Like the Rumble was the norm going forward, right?
Sure.
And I think the Xbox Series X controller, the second edition, because I don't think the first edition will have, like the all the DualSense bells and whistles. I think they're going to put out a second DualSense controller, Xbox Series X controller that'll have all of the haptic feedback, better haptic feedback, and all that stuff. So I think they will follow suit on this, guaranteed.
Huh. Yeah. All right. We'll see. You seem pretty optimistic about it. I suppose I should have a more optimistic attitude. I know how things go, right?
I'm just happy they took that light bar.
Well, I mean, the light bar was used for the specifically to work with the VR system, and to let you know this is player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4,
and to kill the battery.
Well, yeah, it wasn't so great on power consumption. So,
all right, why don't we stop here, and when we come back, we'll get into our interview with our special guest from the Precisely podcast, Beau and Kelly.
And we're back. We have on the show special guest Beau and Kelly from the Precisely podcast. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Hello.
Yeah. We've been wanting to have you guys on for a little bit. You guys are part of our Gaming Podcast Alliance, so it's good to have fellow podcasters on, fellow collectors on.
Absolutely.
Well, in honor of them being on, I cracked open, because I know they like to drink beer during their podcast. I cracked open a nice Blue Moon in your honor, because it's noon somewhere in the world.
Thank you. It's noon now. That works.
There you
go.
Well, cheers to that.
We're on airport drinking time right now for the quarantine, so you can drink whenever you want.
There you go.
It's
Bars
a
are always
weekend.
open.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the podcast that you guys do?
So we've been podcasting for over a year now. It's mainly about beer and video games. Instead of like focusing on the news, lately we've been diving deep into either a particular game or having guests on from the Instagram retro gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been super fun. I came in, I would say, what do you think, Beau? Like,
I think October.
Yeah, like a full-time host. Yeah, in October-ish, sometime around there last year. And it has been super fun to be, I was on as a guest a few times before, and now to be like a full-time podcaster on there has been just a blast to be able to hang out, every other week and talk beer and games with my friend.
All right. What do you guys have? I'm actually very curious, because I know you guys drink a lot of different beer on the show, and there's definitely some stuff that I'm like, ooh, I got to try that. What's been like your favorite brew to have on the show?
Oh,
well, that's a tough question.
That's a tough question. I just had recent one that I just had was a Flying Fish which is a salted sour, but it had Old Bay seasoning in it.
Really?
That was really tasty. Surprisingly tasty.
All right. I'm assuming you pair that up with some seafood and whatnot. You got yourself a good meal.
Yeah, not while podcasting, but yeah.
Just diving into a couple of crab legs while we're doing the show.
Right? No, fair enough.
He's gonna have a seafood bake in the middle of the show, drinking beer and video games.
Just hear him cracking.
It'd be the worst sounding podcast ever.
Listen, we have heard some very bad podcasts. Trust me, that would definitely not be the worst.
Well, you could categorize it under seafood ASMR, and we'd be fine.
See, there you go, right? Video gaming, beer, seafood ASMR. Like, you guys are hitting all these different.
Look, that's a new podcast concept right there.
It's a niche market. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could cover that.
Very niche.
So how about you, Kelly? What's your favorite beer to drink, or favorite beer you've had on the show?
I can't think off the top of my head of like my favorite that I've had on the show, but like I would say the majority of the IPAs that I've been trying on the show, I've really liked a lot and have been like a very flavorful. Like I wasn't into IPAs a lot when I first started drinking beer, but now it's becoming one of my favorite types of beer to drink. And exploring that avenue with this outlet has been super fun, and it gets me to try. I mean, I'm always the person who's buying a 6-pack at the store, you know, with 6 different beers because I want to try them all.
You do the mix and match, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, it's just giving me, you know, another outlet to be like, yeah, I'm going to try a new beer today, or you know, whatever. So nice. I like that.
If I can make a recommendation, I think if you guys are ever in the Brooklyn area, I would suggest checking out the Finback Brewery.
I have not heard of them.
Yeah, they're up in I think like Williamsburg area, Bushwick, Williamsburg, right? It's weird. It's kind of like in a residential area and whatnot, but it's a beautiful place. You know, it's a tap room, and you can buy cases of beer there, and they have some very choice IPAs. It's not necessarily like my favorite, but they are very good. Yeah. Like whenever my brother comes in town, he's like, we got to go to Finback, or we got to go to Other Side. I'm like, all right, we'll go. We drive over, and he buys like a big case and then ships it back home. So
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Right.
Well, here's what I'm curious. Beau, you guys are collectors, right? As well?
Yep.
How big are your collections? Because I just hit 3,500 games.
Congrats to that. That's crazy.
That's good.
So do you use like an app to count your games?
I do. I use that CLZ games.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You know, it used to be free. Well, you just pay $20 for the app. Now it's sort of like $20 for the year as like a service if you want to keep syncing it. But it's cool because it has all the information, it has the artwork, and it just looks cool. And you could just sort of scan the barcode if it's, you know, not a cartridge game unless you have the box. So it's just easier. I'm already in. They already have me synced in. So
yeah.
I've been doing it for so long. I might as well just keep doing it. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to sort of do another app and recatalog 3,500 games plus the system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot to do.
I think Kelly has more games than me when it comes to collection size, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Well, that's because of my Game Boy Quest. It doesn't look like I have a lot because I have so many little cartridges sitting in boxes.
Do you do the presentation in the like the nail polish display case?
No, what I do is I put them in document boxes like you can get at Walmart for a couple bucks. And it fits. It's a slim box, probably just about as tall, a little bit taller than a Game Boy game inside of the plastic case. So it's literally the perfect height, and they stack super nice, and they're clear, so you can just label the top of each plastic case with the game name. And you can just like look in the box and be like, oh, I'm looking for, I don't know, Super Mario Land, and be like, well, that's not in that box. You know, it's way easier than flicking through a million different cartridges.
Oh, fair enough. I like it. It's a nice little hack. Is that like is that your system to collect for? Like, is that the one?
Yeah, I am. I'm going for a full set of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games eventually here in my lifetime. So,
wow. Loose or CIB? That's the question.
Oh, loose. Okay. No,
okay. Not
CIB. That would be insane. I mean, this is already insane, but that would be insaner.
The one thing that I'm very happy about, I just have to say this one story real quick, is that the one thing that I saved from my, I guess, childhood is all of my Game Boy Advance games and the cases.
Nice.
Because those are like, you know, cardboard, and they like smush real easily. They are all in like 8 or 9 on like a 10-point scale. Like, they are in very good condition. So
it's safe.
Yeah.
Well, lucky you. You know what? I have a bunch of loose carts, and remember EB Games had their custom Genesis covers, and it was like yellow. So I have a stack of yellow carts, Genesis carts. It was just ridiculous.
Nice.
So, what's your favorite game system to collect for?
Oh, and that's a good question. Every time I get a new kiosk, I start collecting for that system. It seems like, but lately I've been always buy a Wii U game. If I see one that I don't own, I'm not one to like go for a full collection. Like Wii U might be the one that I do fully collect eventually, but it's not like a end goal, B goal of mine. I just want to play all the games and the good games, and if I buy a game that's not good, then I just sell it and move on.
You don't have at least 2 copies of Barbie's Horse Adventure in your collection?
Most underrated game of all time.
Come on now, Beau.
No, instead I have like 2 copies of Axiom Verge sealed for the Wii U.
There you go. Yeah. Dan got me into that game. He's like, you got to play this Axiom Verge game.
It's great. If you're a Metroid fan, it's definitely an amazing game.
I have the collector's edition for the Wii U, Vita, and I have it digitally for the PS4 because I bought it when it first came out. So I definitely got to get. Oh, and the Switch. I got it for the Switch as well. Yeah.
I get angry at myself if I see the same game in 2 different systems. I'm like, oh, why do I have this? Like, I'm not going to ever be able to play both of them at the same time. So I always choose the better control scheme of the 2. So like for Tony Hawk Underground, had it for PS2 and GameCube, and even though the GameCube one goes for more, I'd rather play that game on a PS2. So
much better controller for sure.
Well, I will have to say there is a reason why I have it for all these systems. I bought Axiom Verge when it first came out for PS4. I bought the collector's edition for the Vita, and that was that. But, then limited run, so they were putting out the Wii U version. I had to get the last game for the Wii U, or what I thought would be the last game for the Wii U. And then, I think Toys R Us was going out of business, so I bought this. So I brought the Switch. I brought the Switch version for like $10. So there was a good excuse why I have it for every system.
Yeah, that's great. It's a good game that like you have a solid title like Axiom Verge. It's fine to collect for all of them,
So you don't want Barbie Horse Adventures on every system?
I mean, listen, that's my game right there, right? I've almost got a complete collection of it, so it's pretty good.
Oh man,
yeah. I'm actually on like a serious note. I'm trying to get not everything because I know there's some that are just like ridiculous, but like all of the different versions of Tetris. So every time so every time on eBay, I'm always like looking for like good low priced copies, for like whatever it is. I'm up to about. God, I gotta have at least maybe like 30 or 40 different versions of Tetris. Outside of like the traditional game case, Nintendo version or Super Nintendo version. I got some weird ass handheld ones, and it's great. It's just like fun to do, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and make this a thing. I'm gonna make this a goal. But I know I'm not gonna get all of them because there's that one for the Genesis that's like technically it never came out and there's only 6 copies of it, and there's some guy in Australia that's got 2. So
that's not good.
Yeah,
he needs to release one of them.
Yeah, I wish. Well, that's it's the last gamer on YouTube. He somehow came across 2 copies of that, and I don't think he's ever given it up.
Well, he had a connection with Sega. He knew somebody in Sega, and he just said, "Hey, do you want this?" And he's like, "Sure, yeah, of course."
Yeah, one of the rarest games of all time. I'd say like top 30, maybe. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Talking about Wii U games and the last of them. I just ordered 2 from Europe. The one is called Finding Teddy 2, which looks like Celeste almost, like Celeste graphics and sort of like platformer. And they released another one that's called Shmup Collection, which has 3 different Shmup games in it. And it's for the Wii U. And I believe you go on to pixelheart.com right now, which you should, there's probably only 100 copies left of each that you can order. So only 3,000 copies were made of each.
Are they new? Are they new releases? Is that
I believe they released them this month, and they just haven't really advertised it that much. I saw it on someone else's Instagram, and I was like, "New Wii U games? Yeah, sign me up."
I'm not gonna lie. I was on the site like a couple of days ago, and I was like, should I buy this or should I not buy this? I like to buy stuff that I can actually play, and I don't. And it's region locked, so I won't be able to play it. But next month, was it Shakedown Hawaii coming out for the Wii U?
Yep.
That you can play on your American version. It looks like it's going to be the last game, unless there's a Just Dance in the works. Looks like it's going to be the last Wii game to be released.
There's probably a Just Dance in the wings, just waiting for the right time to come out.
Yeah, right.
Well, fun fact, if you want to do a Wii U game, you need Nintendo's permission, and I believe you needed to submit the application last December.
Oh, wow.
So, by all accounts, unless they do a Just Dance game, which they didn't do last year for the Wii U, they did it for the Wii. The Shakedown Hawaii, which they're only going to make 3,000 copies, will be the last game on the Wii U.
I ordered the European Wii version, so I got that coming. Very happy about that. But
that will be region locked, though, right?
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to play it.
I'm probably going to keep it sealed. As much as I love my games and all that, I also just like to collect. I know a lot of people are like, they can get a little bit upset about that, but it's just, to me, it's just nice I like having the collection there and knowing that if I really wanted to play it, I could find a way to make it happen. I could mod Wii U or a Wii or whatever. But yeah, I'm actually I'm looking at that Finding Teddy too. I'm watching a video of it right now. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
I was under the assumption that you could play them on the Wii U, but maybe you're right, Dan.
I don't think
that you can't.
Yeah,
right, well,
because the Wii was like that. Like,
the Wii was, yeah.
So I wouldn't see them doing that with the Wii U. I don't know.
The Switch is region free, so maybe they did it in the Wii U. I'm not sure. Either way, I got 2 copies of each, so if anything, I'll just keep, one of each and then sell the other ones. So it's fine.
What's your favorite retro game to play of all time?
Earthbound all the way. Yeah.
Nice.
That's my number one game. That game got me into collecting, and got me seeking other games that were so, eccentric and out there, like Earthbound. And I never really found one. But yeah, that's my go-to game that I like to play every once or 2 times, a year.
Yeah. I think mine's Donkey Kong Country. It was kind of a similar thing when I was a kid. I had the Game Boy Color version, and I used to just play that all the time. And that's one of my fondest memories is just sitting and playing that game. And it's a game I believe that holds up really, really well to this day on almost any of the ports that they made of it. And it was my love for platformers too that started there. So Donkey Kong Country is my favorite retro game.
Nice. Much respect to that. Much respect. I got that Christmas '94. I got that game, Donkey Kong Country, and I played it to the bone. 101% of that game.
Oh, yeah. And that's one that I come back to. Like Beau said, I come back to that once a year at least and do a playthrough of it. It's just very relaxing to me. It's just very familiar and something I've been playing since I was a kid. So you've got that ingrained.
Well, now it's on Switch Online, so you can play it if you have...
the
Nintendo Online account. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, the snow stages really did it for me.
They are
the
difficult.
music and the underwater stages too, like the music.
Love the music.
Love the music.
Point. Like every now and again, I do programming for my 9 to 5, and every now and again I'll come across soothing, relaxing Nintendo sounds, and they always have Donkey Kong music in there, and it's just like the best chill out music.
If I ever, which is quite often, have trouble going to sleep, I often put on just like a mix of Donkey Kong Country music, and it puts me out. Like, it's just so soothing and just so relaxing.
Too good. Too good.
I think collectively, Kelly and I both love Dynamite Cop for the Dreamcast.
Yes. When you fight the giant octopus, come on.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Such a big beat 'em up co-op game. Yeah.
I have to wonder if they were still able to keep the Die Hard license if they would have kept the octopus in there.
Right.
I would hope so.
I think they ended up like losing the license, and then they're like, all right, we're going to go balls to the wall on this, all right? We're going to make it ridiculous. And it's like the best game.
It might have been the best thing to happen to that game is the fact that they lost the license, because I think it made it just that ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, for me, that game's up there in the pantheon of House of the Dead. All right.
Oh, so good. The Dreamcast in general was just an amazing system.
Me and Dan argue all the time. I think it's the most underrated console of all time.
Absolutely.
I think it's rated. I'm sorry.
I think it's rated now. I think the Wii U is the most underrated system nowadays. It's sort of like in the shoes of the Dreamcast. Now I think the Dreamcast has gotten its popularity. You never see it anywhere. Like, even at like retro game stores, like you might see like a handful of games and they're all overpriced.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny you mentioned the Wii U, because everything on the Wii U is coming out on the Switch because nobody got to play them. So it's nice they're pulling out all of the like the gems and saying like, here's your Donkey Kong, and here's your Super Mario Brothers Wii U version or whatever it is, and it's like, oh yeah, and everyone thinks they're new games because no one had a Wii U, so it's like brand new to them.
But are you guys excited for next gen, the PS5 and Series X?
Yeah, definitely. Feel like I need to upgrade my TV though before I get one.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're not still rocking a tube TV, are you? I know you guys are old.
No, not for our main TV, but it's 1080p.
Oh sure,
60-inch. Yeah.
Sure.
So
that's a nice size.
I did that.
That's a nice living room size.
Yeah, and I did that because of like latency playing retro video games on the TV. Supposedly 4K TVs aren't that great, like an older system on it, but
it kind of depends on the make and model. You definitely want to turn the game mode on, which is always hidden somewhere in the damn menu.
Exactly.
But I don't know, like do you guys have like an OSSC or a FrameMeister to kind of smooth out any of that stuff?
No idea what those are.
You guys need to take a look. They can be a little bit pricey. I think they like a decent one starts at around $100, but it's essentially a middleman for your console. And they'll have various like inputs on there, and then it'll give you like either like component SCART or like HDMI out, depending on what your setup is. But it has all these like features to do like upscaling, and to kind of smooth out the frame rates and all that. Like it's just like it'll not necessarily like fix everything, but it'll allow you to kind of tweak and customize and like kind of smooth it out so you have a decent experience. So it'll kind of normalize the frame rate, and if you want to like scale up your games, right, you can do like up to like 5 times scaling, and it's accurate, so the pixels aren't stretched out and all that.
Does it make Final Fantasy VII, the original, look good on a 60-inch screen?
It'll certainly help. I think it does a lot more. I think it does a lot more with pixel-based games.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you're not going to get better backgrounds. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I have looked into the upscaling and all the technology behind that. I also just have a like 55-inch like regular or 4K. No, not 4K. Just a regular 1080 TV. Because I just got the one that we had in our living room when we moved, and when we bought our new TV for our new living room. And it's a great TV. It's fine. It does what it needs to for my current gen consoles and the last gen consoles. So I have like my PS3 and Xbox 360, Wii U, and then like PS4, Xbox One, and Switch all hooked up to that one. But then for my older consoles, I have a Sony Trinitron just sitting to the side for the rest of them. So I don't need to do that now because I'm playing them on a CRT.
Right.
So, and that gives me the option to play one of my favorite things is a light gun game. So that's kind of why I wanted to have that was, if I'm feeling myself and want to play some Time Crisis today, I don't want to have to go through and hook up 3 million different things to try to get these light guns to work on a new TV. I'd rather just hook it straight up to a CRT and blast away.
I'm actually looking at the one right now. I rescued it. From my parents' place because they were kind of selling their property, and they had this big old tube TV down there. And I managed to get my friends to help me pick it up, bring it back, like big old 27-inch Sony tube, heavy as hell. So. Yeah, and like Dan's been prodding me to kind of set it up so we can kind of play retro stuff. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's great. It's a side by side. They're all on the same wall, so you can see the line basically where my consoles go from current gen and last gen to the old stuff, and they sit on the other TV. So
cool. And, something that we wanted to ask you guys, too, is like, you guys are definitely big into it. Definitely got some big pickups. I know, like, you're crazy with the kiosk, Beau. You put me to shame. I have one Wii U kiosk, and that's it. But, like, how do you guys handle, right? Because, I mean, the pandemic is out there. We call it the zombie apocalypse. How you guys kind of dealing with all that? And, is it making trades more difficult? And
you go first.
Yeah, for me, I'm still working every day and go to my job. So things haven't really changed besides like having to wear a mask when meeting up with people. But I've actually been finding more deals now that I think people have lost their jobs and they're at their house and they're like, do I need these video games anymore? So yeah, I mean, it's been fine for me.
Nice.
The world is a weird place right now, but pickups are coming in.
Have you found anything good lately? Like something you wouldn't expect to find, or?
Oh, a Game Boy Micro recently on OfferUp, which was crazy. Yeah, to find something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, just big lots mainly.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I've been home since March. Still working, but I work for a school, so I'm off in the summer. So right now, this is my prime time to go, flea markets and yard sales and stuff like that, which I really haven't done too much of. But I have seen a ton of yard sales around, and I've managed to take a couple days to go and look around at yard sales. And I feel like the things are out there. And I'm seeing a lot of games going up for sale. And Beau, maybe you're right. There's, a lot of people who are struggling for cash right now and just are like, I got to sell whatever I got. And, that's unfortunate. But, it's good for us that things are hitting the market. And there's also a lot of people who are cleaning out like their houses and stuff because they have the time, they're home more. They're like, I've got so much crap. Let me dump all of this now.
Sure. They're finding all the stuff in their attic and they're like, I didn't know I had this.
Right. So a lot of that stuff is coming up on the market. So there's definitely a lot out there, but I'm also seeing a lot of people who are doing their research or, know what they have and are asking, market value, which is fine. You do you. But so I think that like I've gotten a fair amount of inventory of stuff, since the pandemic. And I don't feel like I'm low on a lot of things right now. But yeah, there's definitely some deals out there, but I feel like there's a lot of people who are trying to get their fair market value, which is fair because people are willing to pay that during this because they need entertainment.
Yeah. I had someone, I felt really good about it. Somebody hit me up. Well, somebody hit me up on Nextdoor. right? The kind of local neighborhood app. And because I had a lot of stuff, like a lot of games that I was trying to sell, and I sold pretty much all of them by now, but I did have 2 copies of Wii Sports. And somebody was like, do you still have like the Wii Sports? Like, I need something to play on my system and all that. And like, Wii Sports went up in price for a little bit because, you know, everyone still has a Wii. Like, I think everyone across the world has a Wii in their house. Yeah. or if they don't, they sold it off. And she was like, I really need something to play. I said, all right, look, you know, $10 for the game, you can have it. And that was a really good price because it was going for at least $30-$40. And, you know, she came by and she was super happy about it. I said, enjoy. Let me know if the game doesn't work. It should. And it did, and I was, you know, it made her day. I was very happy about that. And what am I going to do with 2 copies? Like, I just need the one. But,
for you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So, before we let you guys go, this is a very important question. We ask this to all our guests.
It's the most important question you'll ever be asked in your life. I just want you to know that.
Mm-hmm. We would like to know, which is the best game of all time? Super Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario World?
No pressure, but there is a correct answer.
Dan is right. There is definitely a correct answer. We have definitely had this long discussion.
Most people
right.
get it right.
Most
people get it right. Most people get it right.
So we definitely don't want to taint your opinions and whatnot, but we do want to hear what you guys think.
All right, Kelly. On the count of 3, let's both say it at the same time.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Super Mario World.
Yes!
Oh!
Yes!
Oh!
They got it correct. You win
Super
the
Mario
prize.
World. Okay.
Yes.
Fair.
Okay.
You guys are entitled to that opinion, but we need to know, or we want to know why. We want to know why.
Okay.
Oh, you can go first.
Yeah, since you prepped me for this question the other day, I was thinking about it, which it was actually a really hard choice because when I was growing up, I didn't have either copy of those. I used to play the original Mario. So, like, if you would have thrown that in there, that would have been my contender. But I think that I played Super Mario World at a friend's house, you know, more than I played Super Mario 3, which I only didn't play till I started, you know, getting older and able to buy games, you know, for myself when I started collecting. And both games are absolutely fantastic, but I think I just like Super Mario World more. Like, I just liked it, this Super Nintendo era. And that was like what 16-bit, what I grew up on and stuff. So that's, I think, why I like it more than Super Mario 3.
Sure. There's a high nostalgia factor. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I actually grew up playing Super Mario 3 for World. We had a Nintendo system, or a neighbor did. So I understand where you're saying that 3 is better than World. Like, we wouldn't have World without 3. Let's put it that way. But the World just, you know, refined the graphics so much better, made it more friendly looking, and it was just a great co-op game to pass a controller back and forth. Or, you know, you could play as Luigi as well, but it introduced Yoshi, the best character ever, you know, the best companion to ride and fly and all that. So yeah.
Okay. Respectable. I respectfully disagree in that fact. As great as World is, as monumental of a pack-in game as it is, personally, I feel that 3 was more revolutionary. It kind of like pushed the ball forward, and World was an evolution on that. Like Dan's gonna tell me I'm wrong, and he's doing backflips right now. I know it.
I don't need to say anything. They got it right. So
see, he's sitting back in his king chair right now.
they got it right. So that's the only thing that matters. I don't need to justify my pick. I've done that for 222 episodes. Right. So I just sit back and let them let them explain why you're wrong. That's all.
Fair enough. And if you, the fans, want to vote, we do have a poll on the website. That is the ultimate tell. We want to get everyone's opinion on that. So go to ratedg.com, fill out the poll. You can see where it's at. I think maybe World may be ahead by like a vote or two.
3.
So go there, cast your vote for the right game.
I'm going to cast mine right now.
Go for it. So, we definitely want to thank you guys for coming on. This has definitely been a blast. It's fun to talk to other gamers in a nice, safe environment. So before we let you go, do you guys have anything you want to plug?
Absolutely. Our website is precisely.live, live EE.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow us on Instagram at Precisely Podcasts, and you can follow me at Beau's BEAUS _ game room.
And you can follow me at Highway to Kel.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
We love your podcast and listen to it every week.
Next time we all have to crack open some beers.
Yes.
Yeah, let's record after 5 p.m. and I'm
Fair enough. Day drinking is a special skill for sure. So yeah. So thank you guys. And if you guys want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon at Rated G for Gamers. Us and the Precisely podcast are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. So if you're looking for more gaming goodness, head over to gamingpodcastalliance.com. Check out the Precisely guys. Follow these guys on Instagram. They are a great follow, and they have an amazing podcast. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.